Hello everyone, welcome to Sauna IE. I'm your host XO. It's Monday, man. Mental Health Mondays, Money Making Mondays. We still in our series of March for Mental Health, and last episode we dove into some myths and facts about mental health. If you haven't heard that episode, take a gander back. Let me know what you think. This is your first time listening to Sauna IE. And you wonder, what is Sauna IE? Why am I here? Why am I listening to this podcast? Sauna IE is here with main focus to discuss different elements about mental health. Some mental health podcasts with some financial literacy tips included in from day to day. But we really focus on mental health and really developing our mental health on a daily basis when it comes to things to do, when it comes to the morning routine, when it comes to your night routine, when it comes to your environment, when it comes to the people you surround yourself with, when it comes to meditating, deep breathing, getting out and getting some sunlight, being within nature, just different topics, different things we touch bases on, as well as different effects of mental health, different things that affect your mental health. And with today's episode, we're going to be discussing factors that affect your mental health. Last episode, like I said, we discussed myth and facts about mental health. In the episode before, we gave a brief introduction to what is mental health. That episode is titled Mental Health 101. But on today's show, we're going to get a deep dive into the effects and what affects your mental health from environment, the people, your upbringing, and different things like that. But first, let's get started with some quotes of the day. My first quote is, "What may be hard now will make you stronger in the long run." And that's true. Everything's hard in the beginning. Everything's going to be hard in the beginning. And over time, things get easier with repetition, with consistency, with discipline. So what may be hard today, a week from now will be easier. What may be hard tomorrow will be easier a week from then. So it's like constantly applying yourself and not enjoying the hard. It's going to be hard. I'll be a novice at first, but keeping that mental picture of where you're headed in the direction, that long run you want to get to, that finish line, and staying focused on that. It's going to be hard in the beginning for me starting to journaling, or me going to work out, or me reading a book, reading a chapter. It starts with doing the little things, doing that one thing, getting 1% better on a daily basis, and things will eventually get easy. So what may be hard now will make you stronger in the long run. And my next quote is, "Just for today, focus on everything you have to gain instead of everything you have to give up. You can only get better from here." It's like when we wake up in the morning, we always start our day with, damn, I got to do this, or damn, I got to do this, or damn, I got to do that. And it's like, change that mentality to, I get to do this. I get to go to work. I get to see my family. I get to be with my friends. I get to work out. I get to do these things, because not a lot of people are blessed with the opportunities that you have, or have the blessings that you have. So we have to start focusing on what we have to gain today versus what we have to give up. Because every day you gain more than you lose. But we always look at the brain always fixates on the negative. So it's like, why not change that and focus on the positive, focus on what you have to gain in life instead of what are you losing today. So whenever you wake up, tomorrow you wake up, focus on what you have to gain. Okay, I can gain knowledge today. I can gain new experiences. I can gain new friends. I can gain new conversations. I can gain new money. I can gain new benefits. It's like, look at what you can gain in the day instead of what you have to give up for that day. But once again, that quote is, just for today, focus on everything you have to gain instead of everything you have to give up. You can only get better from here. In this episode, we're going to discuss some factors that affect your mental health. But first, let's give you a brief break. Thank you for tuning in to Sauna IE. And I bet you're thinking, what factors play in or affect my mental health? And that's what I'm here for. That's what this episode is for today, so we can really take a look at ourselves and seeing, are we contributing or hindering our mental health when it comes to certain things, when it comes to our environments, when it comes to the people in our lives, when it comes to childhood trauma and the trauma that we've been throughout our lives. Have we really talked and discussed it and opened up about that trauma, or is that trauma in Pandora's box, which we blacked out or blocked out of our mind, and we don't really discuss and talk about, because all that really plays a factor into your mental health today. And mental health problems can have a wide range of causes. It's likely that for many people, there is a complicated combination of factors. Although different people may be more deeply affected by certain things than others. For example, the following factors could potentially result in a period of poor mental health when it comes to childhood abuse, trauma, or neglect. Think back to your childhood right now. Was your childhood abusive? Did you have a traumatic childhood? Were you neglected as a child to where you don't know what love is or know how to love yourself because of the neglection? What about the trauma or the abuse? Have you dealt with anything in your childhood that you may have blocked out of your mind when it comes to abuse or trauma that you never thought about? You look back now like, damn, I did have an abusive or traumatic childhood, but I really blacked that out because I didn't want to discuss it. I don't want to talk about it, and that's not who I am anymore. But that plays a big key into how you are as an adult. If you had an abusive or traumatic childhood that you never discussed, that you really just kept to yourself, that you never really vented or opened up about, that plays a factor in your mental health. What about social isolation or loneliness? Are you an introvert or really don't have any friends? You just always keep to yourself. You just wake up, go to work, come home, and that's it. You stay in your room all day and do the same cycle on a daily basis. That plays into your mental health, as well as loneliness, being lonely, not being around people, not being around friends, and not having that communication, the people to talk to where you can open up and talk about life to and talk about what you're feeling, that anything that's on your mind. What about experiencing discrimination and stigma, including racism? That plays a big fact on the mental health as well as social disadvantages such as poverty and debt. That is a big thing. Poverty and debt really plays a factor on your mental health because you don't have access to the right resources or the resources that you need to advance or better your mental health. So it declines your mental health on a daily basis. When it comes to the less fortunate, I know a lot of mental health factors, mental health issues, they deal with a lot because they don't have the resources and the outlets to really help them out when it comes to counseling, when it comes to therapy, when it comes to really figuring out why they are the way they are, why some of them have PTSD. So that plays a big factor and a big part on the mental health, as well as bereavement. We all lose somebody, and that if we don't know how to cope with that or how to figure out like, okay, that person passed away, that person moved on, and it's like, how do I move on? How do I keep their spirit or keep their life alive within me and not let my spirit, myself die with them? Because it's like they passed on, they went on, they transitioned, and they left an impact on my life. But I have to learn to use that impact to impact other people. Especially, we all have lost somebody in life, and we all deal with it differently. And the list goes on to severe or long-term stress, having a long-term physical condition, unemployment or losing your job affects your mental health. So homelessness and poor housing, being in long-term care for somebody, that plays a big factor on your mental health. If you're not checking on yourself daily and you just keep going on with that constant cycle, you're not taking a break and stepping back like, I've been caring for so-and-so for this whole 2 to 3 years, and I haven't took the time out to really check in on myself and see how I'm doing. And it's like, that's what you have to do when you care for somebody, you're a long-term caregiver or anything of that nature. You have to really check in with yourself and see, do I need anything? Do I need a break from this? Do I need to step back? Do I need to be in a new environment to where I rejuvenate my life instead of getting sucked into a black hole and looking back where my mental health is diminishing over time because I'm caring for somebody else, but I'm not caring for myself. The list goes on with drug and alcohol misuse, domestic violence, bullying, or any abuse as an adult. Significant trauma as an adult, such as military combat, being involved in a serious incident in which you feared for your life, or being the victim of a violent crime. Physical causes. For example, a head injury or a neurological condition such as epilepsy can have an impact on your behavior and mood. It's important to rule out potential physical causes before seeking further treatment for a medical or mental health problem. So those are some of the factors that play in when it comes to your mental health. Child abuse, trauma. Childhood trauma plays a big factor into adulthood. If you haven't talked about what you dealt with as a child, it's honestly playing a role in how you're going about your adult life now. Self-isolation, loneliness, experiencing discrimination and stigma, as well as racism. Social disadvantage, poverty, debt, bereavement, severe or long-term stress, having long-term or physical health condition, unemployment or losing a job, homelessness or poor housing, being in long-term care for someone, drug or alcohol misuse, domestic violence, bullying, or other abuse as an adult, significant trauma as an adult, such as military combat, physical causes, head injury, and neurological conditions such as epilepsy. All that plays in with your mental health and how you operate mentally. So those are some of the factors that play in. But now, for my next segment, we're going to dive into lifestyle factors that affect your mental health. But these factors right here, let me know. Let's talk. Is there anything that you've been dealing with mentally, where it's childhood trauma? Maybe it's the fact that you're always in isolation, or maybe you just lost somebody, or maybe you lost a job your career job that you wanted to be in for years and years now, but that you had laid off because of the pandemic or something of that nature. What about domestic violence? I feel like everybody's seen or dealt with some type of domestic violence within their lives, and that stuff plays a big part in your mental health as well, especially if you don't have nobody to talk to. We can't keep everything sealed up within us. We have to let it out. We have to cope with things. We have to let people know what we're dealing with, what we're feeling, and what we're going through, instead of keeping it in. But with that being said, I'm gonna give y'all a brief break, and I'm gonna get y'all into this next segment. Thank y'all for tuning in to Sauna IE. We back. Lifestyle factors that affect your mental health. And this first one, I'm really big on. If you've been listening to the show consistently, you already know what I'm about to hit you with. The first one, exercise. You probably heard this 1,000 times that you need to exercise. But here's one more reason why. Exercise doesn't just control your weight and protect your physical health. It also offers protective benefits to your mental health. Exercise can be so effective at treating mental health problems that some studies show it to be as effective as popular antidepressants. Exercise can also help reduce muscle pain, making it an ideal choice for people who feel limited by pain or mobility challenges. So exercising doesn't just help when it comes to weight loss and when it comes to the physical health, but it comes with mental health too. It's as effective as the antidepressants, as Tylenol. Whenever you feel like a headache, you feeling down or anything, exercise will boost the endorphins and you get the serotonin kicking and really have you feeling like euphoric in a way. I know what I do. I work out, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. As soon as I get that 5 minutes workout warm up, I feel really engaged, really feel better, and really feel excited about the day and where this day is going. Your mental health starts kicking in. You start feeling good about yourself. So exercising, like I said, even if it's 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, getting up and walking around, or maybe getting up doing some push-ups, some sit-ups, some anything, getting out there in the sunlight as well, and just some type of exercise on a daily basis. Start small and gradually build up. With the quote of the day, we talked about it's going to be hard in the beginning, but in the long run, you're going to get stronger and everything's going to get easier. So it's all about starting. If you haven't started exercising yourself, just start small. Start small every day and just congratulate yourself on the progress that you're making on a daily, but just start small. Next one is smoking. Almost half of the people with mental illness are smokers. For years, therapists thought that smoking might help to take the edge off mental health symptoms. So they frequently didn't pressure their clients to quit. We know better now though. While quitting can be challenging and may even yield a temporary downturn in mental health, research has repeatedly shown that quitting smoking yields benefits to mental health, often in just weeks. When you smoke, you take a variety of toxins in. It may be that many of the toxins contribute to mood problems. The physical health problems caused by smoking, heart disease, coughing, emphysema, frequent colds, difficulty exercising, can lead to mood problems and mental health challenges. Quitting may be one of the best things you do for your mental health and physical shit. But smoking, like I said, half of the people with mental illnesses are smokers. So quitting is always the challenging. Quitting is always the hard part, but it goes back to just doing it one day at a time, taking it one day. We see when it comes to a huge goal like that this goes back to the quote of the day again. It's always hard in the beginning because you're like, damn, I want to quit. But you know you're going to have them urges like, I want to quit, but I know I have that urge. This is my escape from different things that I'm dealing with. So some people use smoking as an escape, but it's really not benefiting them in any way. It's hindering their mental health as well as their physical health. And in the long run, we know what smoking continuously does in the long run to the body, to the mind. So it's like we have to take that time to stop now. I know there's people around us who probably are smokers, and we have to tell them like, yo, y'all know that there's no benefits to smoking. It's just the only benefit is that self-benefit to where they want to relieve that stress, relieve that pressure, or find that escape to get into to where they don't have to deal with any stresses. But letting them know like, yo, you're really hindering your mental health. It's not beneficial for you. The next one is your diet. Your diet directly affects your physical health, and your physical health can undermine your mental health. Unhealthy choices such as excess processed foods, sweets, and foods with low nutrient value can all undermine your mental health. Want to feel better? Research is increasingly showing that healthy fats such as omega-3s and omega-6s, fatty acids, as well as fats found in fruits such as avocados can boost brain power and improve mood. And for those with a sweet tooth, like myself, dark chocolate is a much healthier way to indulge. So dark chocolate is a much healthier way to indulge in anything if you have a sweet tooth. I know myself, I'm always having a sweet tooth, so I'm gonna have to look into dark chocolate because I'm not a fan of dark chocolate myself, but really getting your diet together. What diet works out for you? And it's not, I want to say, not necessarily diet, but lifestyle. What lifestyle can you do when it comes to food? Are you, like myself, a pescatarian? Are you a polartarian? Are you a carnivore? Are you vegan, vegetarian? What works out for your lifestyle? And what's something you can stick to in the long run? Versus being that person that's always like, oh, I'm always eating fast food, I'm always eating unprocessed food, I'm always eating sweets, I'm always eating foods with low nutrient values. But it's like getting aware of what are you putting into your body, and really knowing that what you put into your body really affects your mental health as well as we know your physical health. So getting aware of what works for you and getting on a healthier, cleaner lifestyle versus just doing this diet, because the diet has an expiration date. Figure out what lifestyle works for you. Next up is physical health. Your mind and body aren't easily separated. If you struggle with physical health conditions, you are at an increased risk of mental health problems. Even something as minor as a toothache or bladder infection can temporarily undermine your ability to manage stress. In some cases, mental health problems may be directly caused by physical health issues. Endocrine system disorders, for example, can lead to depression, anxiety, and problems with regulating your sleep cycle. If psychiatric drugs aren't working, consider getting blood work done so you can see what's going on with your mental health. Next one is abuse. An unhealthy family environment that includes any kind of abuse, whether physical, sexual, or psychological, can make it nearly impossible to achieve sound mental health. The after effects of abuse can linger for years, and some abusive victims experience PTSD. If you're being abused, the first step is finding a way out. And I know, especially when it comes to family abuse, I don't know personally, but getting out of that family abuse, finding a way out and not staying in that situation. And we know, like, it can be hard. at times because you love the person, you love the people, you love the family, but it's like if it's not good for your overall well-being when it comes to your mental health or physical health, then you have to get out and find a way out and stay away. Maybe you have to distance yourself from that family. And if you have a history of abuse, you don't deal with it alone, seek treatment so you can move on with your life. There's always treatment. There's always help. I'm here to help you if you're going through any family abuse or any abuse of that nature. Find the treatment, find the help, find the people that will want you to get out of that situation. Don't just stay in that situation just because you think that's what you deserve or that's what you feel like you need to be in. Next up would be social and community activities. Anyone who's ever had a good cry with a friend knows that friendship can make a huge difference in your mental health. Research is increasingly recognizing the value of friendship. Isolated people are more likely to struggle with mental health issues, and even a single weekly outing with a friend can improve your mood for days. Getting involved in larger community through volunteer work can help you feel more connected, and some people find that selfless behavior makes it easier to deal with the challenges of everyday life. Some research also suggests that religious people are happier. This may be because religious people have regular socialization opportunities at church functions. Yikes. And I know that for a fact. I know when I was growing up, always in the church, we always had some type of church function, and which was really good because it always brought up the spirits and always catch, that you have family around and you're always doing something with family. The key is to find the level of socialization that makes you comfortable and to spend time with people who make you feel good about yourself and your life. Don't force a connection that's not there. But if you're struggling to get out of bed, consider committing to a social outing. Even if it feels a bit overwhelming, the odds are good that you feel better after spending time with someone you care about. So get out on the social outings. If you're more of you've been isolated, you love isolation, you're an introvert, you don't like getting outside, now get out, go out with a friend, go out to eat, get some food, get some drinks, go out to the park or something like that, go work out together. Be and connect with a friend because it has tremendous benefits. As you see here, it makes a huge difference on your mental health, especially if you've been struggling with something mentally. Get out, talk to people, be around people, be around other people, like-minded individuals who like being outside, who like talking to you. Get around people who brings up your energy levels. The next one is relationships. We've all heard that it's important to work on your own mental health before getting into a relationship. While it's true that a relationship won't cure everything, research is increasingly showing that a healthy romantic relationship can make a big difference in your mental health. One recent study found that a healthy relationship can help people avoid anxiety and neurotic personality traits. For example, by working on your relationship, you enable an important avenue for healing and sound mental health. If you're in a bad relationship, get out so you can focus on yourself and potentially find someone who makes your life better. That is all self-explanatory. And we got two more. The next one is something I always talk about too, which I love doing, which I really had this conversation in the gym today with a few people. Shout out to Angel and shout out to Kevin for the conversation we had. But meditation. And other relaxation techniques, but meditation, deep breathing, and similar techniques aren't just holdovers for the New Age movement. They really work. They really do work. And over time, meditation can actually change the way your brain processes emotions. You don't have to commit to a specific technique. Instead, by meditating, deep breathing, or breathing deeply, and simply focus on cultivating mindfulness for 20 to 30 minutes each day, you can steadily improve your ability to tolerate frustration, control your temper, and manage anxiety. If you're not sure how to get started, pick up a book on meditation or check out the Calm app. It doesn't matter what approach you use as long as it's comfortable for you. So spend some time researching various meditative techniques. Meditation is powerful. I love meditating. Yesterday I had a great meditative session in the shower. Just put on some meditative music and had a 20 to 30 minute meditation. It really helps out. So meditate any way you can. Pick up a book to learn how to meditate or check out the Calm app for meditation. It's really good. It's very beneficial. Meditation helps you figure out and learn about yourself as well as helps you control your temper, control your emotions, manages your anxiety. So look into meditating or any other relaxation techniques. And last up, I think this should be number one, but this is very, very vital. Healthy sleep. Not just sleep, but healthy sleep. If you ever find yourself on the verge of tears as you struggle to get out of bed after a long night, you might know that sleep habits affect the way you feel. Most sleep experts recommend between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night. But the real key to success isn't just the right amount of sleep, it's a regular sleep schedule. By going to bed at the same time each night and get up at the same time each day, you make it easier for your body to regulate its sleep-wake cycle. This can lead to big mental health improvements and make it easier to get better after an illness, and even tackling a challenging day makes it feel less daunting. So healthy sleep, not just sleep, getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and really sticking to that sleep schedule, because we all wake up at different times of the day, but sticking to your sleep schedule, that really helps out for your mental health as well as regulating your body's sleep cycle. But with that being said, that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate y'all tuning in to today's episode about the effects of what affects your mental health when it comes to childhood abuse, when it comes to bereavement, social disadvantages, unemployment, losing a job, having them significant traumas such as military combat, being involved in a serious incident that you feared for your life, really checking in on yourself too, checking in on your childhood, how was your childhood, and really checking on yourself and getting the time to really journal out your days and journal out what you've been through in the past, so you can really open up and see who you are and who you've become over time. Get on your exercise. Tell your people about how smoking is not beneficial. Figure out your diet. What diet or what lifestyle works out for you in your mental health and physical health that you'll be sticking to and disciplined on. Be aware of your physical health. If you've been in any abusive or traumatic environments, get out. And I know it'd be hard to get out, but look for the help. There's always somebody there to help you get out of that situation. Get around communities that uplift you to become the person who you want to be, who your future self be. Visualize how you want your future to be and start doing the little things to get to move in that direction. Build those relationships that help you out and don't hinder you. Look into meditation. Get you a healthy sleep schedule. Get some sleep in. Take care of yourself mentally. Take care of yourself physically. Take care of the people around you. Check in on your people on a daily basis. But with that being said, a few housekeeping items. Subscribe to the show if you haven't subscribed already. Review. I'll read out the reviews on the next episode. Share the show with a friend, a family member, a coworker, anybody who you think it'll help out. Share it with them. Follow us on social media at Sana.ie. Shout out to everybody who's been leaving reviews and comments and really I've been talking to about the show and really helping out with the show on a daily basis. Without y'all, none of this is possible. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Be back again Friday. But with that being said, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. The day I understood everything was the day I stopped trying to figure everything out. The day I knew peace was the day I let everything go. Have a good week.